Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Women on the Run, a Hong Kong action movie from 1993 that was co-directed by Yuen and David Lai. It was classified as a Category 3 movie, also known as Cat 3, by the Hong Kong Motion Picture Rating System. I've already covered a variety of these Cat 3 films on this channel, both in separate review videos, as well as my Asian horror playlist even. And in the West, we refer to Cat 3 as not only a rating designation, but also a subgenre of film, because we expect certain things from Cat 3 movies, specifically graphic violence and or excessive nudity. Now, the following plot synopsis is from the Vinegar Syndrome Blu Ray release. A young woman named Yuen dreams of leaving her modest village life for a chance to try to make it big as a martial arts movie star. Leaving for the big city with her boyfriend, life takes a turn for the poor when she soon finds herself addicted to drugs and being pimped out by her boyfriend. After a violent altercation forces her to flee to Hong Kong, it's not long before she ends up on the radar of the police. Without any other options, Yin makes a deal with the police to go undercover with one of their straight-laced female detectives, Hong, in order to try and bring down a notorious drug dealer nicknamed King Kong. Victimized by the men in their lives, the two unlikely friends must team up to protect each other from the criminals out to get them and work together to get revenge on those who have betrayed them. So at the beginning, we see a brief montage of our main character as a little girl training in martial arts. She was bullied due to her, interests, and began to dislike little boys almost immediately. Despite these struggles, she became a national martial arts champion. But then her boyfriend cons her into prostitution, as the plot synopsis mentioned. It's only like a 5-minute montage, but quite a bit is communicated. Meanwhile, the other protagonist, the lady cop, has bad luck with men as well. She's a mistress to a married cop, and even when he makes questionable decisions and the superiors question him, she backs him up at every opportunity. And this places her in dangerous situations. He himself assigns her to a pretty dangerous operation that does not have the full support of some of the other officers. So she's almost kind of like set up to take the fall if this doesn't work out. And this could put her in a very bad place, both professionally and safety-wise. So, yeah, that's the overall themes and plots of this movie. And as you can tell, it's kind of a... I guess that's where the exploitation elements come from, is just the clash between men and women, and the men taking advantage of our protagonists. Now, most ironically, our ladies actually don't like each other that much early in the film as well. Don't get along very well at first, but thankfully there are a few bits of humor placed in where they bond, and like there's one scene where they're attempting to steal something from a druggie who may not be as dumb as he looks. I kind of like that scene. Now, action-wise, this movie has its moments. There's a scene where one of the girls is servicing a sex client who decides to insult her. Now, that's a bad decision. She spin kicks him while naked as well. So, and just a few minutes after that, she spin kicks another guy and accidentally kills him. So, that's right. Women on the Run is supposed to be a Category 3 movie, right? But I've barely mentioned any nudity or explicit violence in this review. Well, a woman spin-kicking dudes while naked and then accidentally killing one of them while naked. Now we're getting back on track. So, it's a pretty good fight on a bamboo scaffold early on, which features some stunt work. Pretty good chase, foot chase that follows. So there are some traditional action moments that are not exploitative as well. A pretty good fight between two rival gangs in a cold outdoor environment. There's a 2 versus many fight involving a bow staff, solid steam, and, at this point, you're probably still asking yourself, is this really as exploitative as the rating suggests? Well, Women on the Run does have some healthy nudity and some bloody violence, but this is one of those movies that has that scene which drives it into exploitation territory, in my opinion. There's an escape scene at one point that's followed by a crazy exploitative 1 versus many fight that is also incorporating sexual assault into the fight. And that's the scene of the movie that will make you feel uncomfortable. You know, it's kind of disturbing, certainly sleazy, but it mixes two different things that you typically don't see in the same scene. So it was, you know, I guess kind of interesting. The best fight is in the finale, and both leads break out some hard-hitting strikes against the goon and his leader. Now, in my opinion, this is still not, you know, one of Corey Yun's like top 2 or 3 films in his filmography, if only because the action is nothing great in this. You know, there's a few cool moments here and there. The action overall is pretty solid, but it's not like awesome, I don't think. The exploitation elements are good, but not as crazy as some of the more memorable Cat 3 flicks out there. Certainly the ones that have been released over the past few years get way more violent than this. But it has enough to entertain, and it's less than 90 minutes long, so I do recommend this. It's currently available on Blu Ray, and there seems to be an uncut streaming version on YouTube as well. Let me know what you think of this one. I'm not sure how most people would react to it, but I think if you're a fan of old school Hong Kong flicks and Category 3 stuff, you might like this. And as always, folks, I'll see you next time.